You're not a fisherman? Who exactly are you? Seeing the young face before him, Lu Jun immediately became alert. Fishermen who spent their days at sea were usually tanned, but this person's skin was fair, definitely not normal. Clang! 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 Sensing danger, the subordinates behind him swiftly drew their blades, their eyes filled with killing intent. The so-called fisherman waiting here was none other than Dustin, who had been lying in wait for a long time. Ever since he had confirmed the plan, he had been stationed here, waiting from morning until midnight. And now, his patience had finally paid off. I'm, of course, the one sent to capture you. Dustin stood up from the deck, stretched his limbs slightly, and said calmly, If you don't want to die, surrender now, otherwise it will be too late in a moment. Be careful, it could be an ambush. Lu Jun quickly drew his dagger, his wary eyes scanning the surroundings, trying to spot hidden troops. His subordinates formed a defensive stance, standing back to guard against any sudden attacks from the darkness. But strangely, despite their vigilance, everything around them remained eerily quiet. They were all highly trained fighters with sharp observational skills. If there were really hidden troops nearby, they would have sensed something. No need to look around, I'm the only one here. Dustin's expression remained calm. To deal with people like you, I don't need an army. Lu Jun frowned, carefully sizing up Dustin before sneering. Boy, don't you think you're being a little too arrogant? You really think you can stop us alone? That's just a ridiculous dream. If Dustin had an army hidden nearby, they would be doomed. But now, it was just one man. He wasn't a threat. There was no way he could stop them. If anything, he was throwing his life away. Don't waste time talking to him. He's clearly stalling for time. Kill him and take the boat. At the back, General Lewis suddenly spoke up. For some reason, he felt like he had seen this young man somewhere before, but he couldn't recall where. And if the man was acting so confident, he must have something up his sleeve, or he was simply walking into his own death. What are you all standing around for? Kill him! Lu Jun didn't hesitate to give the order. Like Lewis, he was also wary of being delayed. Something about the situation felt off. Kill! His subordinates exchanged glances before charging forward with their weapons. They were elite fighters from the Pantheon gods, capable of taking on 100 men each. Their teamwork made them even deadlier. Against any warrior below the Grand Master level, they had no trouble at all. And judging by Dustin's youthful appearance, he couldn't possibly be that powerful. Whoosh! The first subordinate reached Dustin, slashing down with his blade at lightning speed. Dustin's figure flickered. He vanished like a ghost. The attacker struck nothing but air. Before he could react, a heavy force slammed into his abdomen. His body was sent flying like a broken kite, crashing into a rock and curling up in pain. At the same time, two more fighters swiftly moved to Dustin's sides, their blades slashing toward his neck. Their attacks were simple and brutal, nothing fancy, just sheer speed. Clang! Clang! Just as the blades were about to reach him, Dustin casually raised his hand and pinched the swords between his fingers. What? The two attackers' faces twisted in shock. This was bare-handed blade catching. It was only possible if the person's strength completely overwhelmed them. They tried to pull their swords back, but it felt like they were caught in an iron vice, completely immobile. Die! The last fighter seized the opportunity, dashing behind Dustin and raising his blade high before bringing it down with all his might. Whoosh! The large blade came slashing down toward Dustin's head with the force of a thunderbolt, an unstoppable blow. This is it! Seeing this, Lu Jun's eyes lit up. This young man was strange, but his men were well trained and highly coordinated. The first few attacks distracted Dustin, while the last one was meant to deliver the killing strike. From Lu Jun's perspective, there was no way Dustin could react in time. Clang! The blade landed squarely on Dustin's head, but to everyone's horror, his skull remained intact. Instead, the moment the sword touched him, a loud crack echoed in the air. The sharp blade shattered into two pieces. Ah! Everyone froze in shock. Catching a blade with his bare hands was one thing, but taking a direct hit to the head, and breaking the sword in the process? What kind of monster was this? How? How is this possible? The attacker stared at his broken sword, completely dumbfounded. It was as if Dustin's body was made of steel. Their attacks had no effect on him whatsoever. All their careful planning, their perfect teamwork, all of it was meaningless. They weren't even on the same level.
just can't accept it. This can't be the end, yet you promised to never leave. And now you're gone, can't believe. I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever, a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tied, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now they're echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place.